Yo, WWE fam. It's time for another update here on WWE News Update. Smash that subscribes button, ring the bell, and let's get into the ring of news. WWE spent weeks teasing a masked attacker on Raw, building intrigue through ambushes and cryptic appearances that suggested a long-term plan. Mystery angles only work when the reveal elevates the character and recontextualizes the chaos. Instead, Austin Theory's unmasking felt rushed and undercut almost immediately. Within an hour of revealing himself, Theory went from dangerous wildcard to background noise in a segment dominated by bigger names. The problem wasn't Theory's motivation, which was serviceable and familiar, but the lack of patience in letting that motivation breathe. WWE failed to give the audience time to recalibrate their perception of Theory as a credible threat. By accelerating straight to humiliation, the company undermined weeks of build-up and rendered the mystery pointless. Austin Theory's motivation wasn't the problem. Austin Theory's promo explained his actions in a straightforward way: frustration, disrespect, and the desire to be taken seriously. While not groundbreaking, it was coherent and aligned with his career arc. Wrestlers have launched far more successful runs with less justification. The real issue was that WWE treated this explanation as a formality rather than a foundation. Instead of letting Theory prove his new edge through calculated victories or continued dominance, the company immediately placed him opposite two generational stars. That positioning did not elevate him. It overwhelmed him. Theory's words suggested ambition and danger, but the booking contradicted that message almost instantly, turning what should have been a turning point into the start of his narrative downfall. Roman Reigns' arrival shifted the entire story. Roman Reigns' entrance completely changed the tone of the segment, as it always does. His presence demands gravity, and the crowd reaction reflected that. However, the moment Roman entered the ring, the story stopped being about Austin Theory. Roman didn't need this confrontation to maintain his aura, and Theory wasn't positioned strongly enough for the interaction to feel earned. Roman's dismissive promo was effective in isolation but devastating in context. Instead of establishing Theory as a challenger with something to prove, it framed him as irrelevant. When the company's most dominant figure treats a storyline centerpiece as beneath notice, the audience is conditioned to agree. CM Punk's entrance raised stakes for the wrong reason. CM Punk joining the segment created an electric visual, but it also exposed WWE's priorities. Punk's presence instantly reframed the confrontation as a teaser for his inevitable clash with Roman Reigns. While that rivalry is undeniably compelling, inserting it here hijacked Theory's moment completely. Punk's promo was sharp and personal, but it shifted the emotional weight away from Theory and onto Punk's sense of disrespect. From that point forward, Theory was no longer the driver of events. He was the excuse. Rather than advancing multiple stories organically, WWE stacked star power in a way that made one storyline cannibalize another, leaving Theory stranded in the middle. The illogical temporary alliance. Roman Reigns and CM Punk agreeing, even implicitly, to work together exposed a major logic gap. These characters represent opposing philosophies and egos that should repel each other on sight. The enemy of my enemy justification felt lazy, especially given Theory's established position far below them on the card. Neither man needed help to handle him, and neither should have been willing to cooperate without a far more compelling reason. By forcing this alliance, WWE weakened both characters. Roman looked less dominant, and Punk looked distracted. The temporary truce existed purely to create a spectacle, not because it made sense within the narrative framework WWE had already established. The handicap match. Stipulation hurt everyone. The decision to book a same-night handicap match was emblematic of WWE's short-term thinking. High-stakes stipulations should feel earned, not improvised. Giving Theory a potential championship opportunity for surviving chaos he didn't create cheapened the title picture, while the forced apology clause felt cartoonish. Worse, the match announcement removed suspense from the broader arc by resolving the conflict immediately. Mystery angles thrive on escalation, not instant payoff. Instead of extending Theory's menace, WWE rushed to a match that existed primarily to tease dissension between Roman and Punk. The stipulation served neither Theory's credibility nor the long-term prestige of Roman's championship. In-ring storytelling highlighted creative confusion. From a technical standpoint, the match was entertaining, but the story it told was deeply confused. Roman and Punk's lack of cooperation made sense character-wise, yet it completely contradicted the premise of the match. If they couldn't work together, the stipulation should never have existed. Theory capitalizing on their tension was logical, but the near falls felt accidental rather than earned. The match oscillated between making Theory look resourceful and making Roman and Punk look careless. Instead of a decisive narrative statement, the bout felt like three competing agendas unfolding simultaneously with no clear priority guiding the action. The finish exposed the real agenda. The finish made WWE's intentions unmistakable. CM Punk tagging himself in to steal the victory wasn't about Austin Theory. It was about Roman Reigns. Theory became collateral damage in a story that had already moved past him. Punk hitting the GTS and scoring the pin shifted all attention to Roman's reaction, not Theory's defeat. By the time the bell rang, Theory was no longer relevant to the broadcast's emotional climax. The segment that began with his supposed ascension ended with him quietly exiting the ring, while two megastars stared each other down. That visual told the audience exactly where Theory stood in WWE's hierarchy. Austin. Theory was the biggest loser. Despite moments of competitiveness, Austin Theory emerged from the night worse off than before. His mystery reveal lacked impact, his motivations were dismissed, and his main event exposure ultimately served someone else's feud. Instead of being established as a dangerous disruptor, he was portrayed as an obstacle to be cleared on the way to something more important. That is the opposite of what a successful repackage should accomplish. WWE didn't commit to pushing him, nor did it fully abandon him. They did something worse by using him as a narrative device. That kind of half-measure damages credibility far more than a clean loss ever could. What this says about Raw's creative direction. This entire segment encapsulates WWE's ongoing creative problem, an inability to commit. Rather than choosing between elevating Austin Theory or focusing on Roman Reigns versus CM Punk, WWE attempted to do both simultaneously and succeeded at neither. Short-term spectacle was prioritized over long-term coherence, resulting in a segment that felt loud but hollow. Star power was used as a distraction rather than a tool for storytelling. When every angle exists to tease something else, nothing feels important on its own. Raw didn't just mishandle one storyline, it revealed a creative philosophy driven by impatience, overbooking, and a lack of trust in character-driven progression.